that party is a house on fire. It was an accident waiting to happen. Now the accident is happening. It's a crumbling edifice. I mean, one of the reasons why I left that party, because I saw that it is heading nowhere. It is a race to the bottom. So things haven't even started. Just wait and see in the next few weeks and months.
What is going to happen?
It's a total cataclysm. It's just crumbling, literally crumbling.
Is it not being decimated by ZANU-PF?
No. I mean, the problem is, I think everyone, if somebody beats up their wife because they are drunk and they abuse their spouses, they will blame ZANU-PF. If someone gets their salary at work and they drink so much booze that they end up even using money for groceries and they can't pay fees for their children and buy food for their families, they will say it's ZANU-PF. Yeah? If somebody is so lazy that he or she can't wake up in time to go to work, they will say it's ZANU-PF. I mean, quite honestly, guys, to be more serious. Are you saying ZANU-PF is that powerful that they will influence people to defect? Are you saying that ZANU-PF is so powerful that they will influence the MDC people to split? Then then ZANU-PF, then it's like God. It's so powerful. And I actually think that it's a lame excuse. It's people who are in denial. People who can't even manage themselves. They're having, the amount of factionalism in the MDC, in the various factions of the MDC, the amount of factionalism, the amount of intolerance, the amount of hate, hate, it's shocking. I mean, I've never come across that. That's one of the reasons why I left. You could touch the hate. You could touch. It was so palpable. The ill feeling, the lack of empathy. I just said, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Now, it seems as if there are some people who are also saying a lot of things, Mr. Gutu. There's one who's saying, was Mr. Gutu ever a ZANU-PF supporter since independence? If so, he has rejoined his party and he never left it in the first place. He was actually working with ZANU when he was in the MDC. What's your reaction to that?
Look, like I said, Gibbs, do you honestly want me to dignify BS?
So, but were you in ZANU-PF before you joined MDC? Like
any other raw youth in the late 1970s, I was in my teens, early teens. I grew up in the raw area in Gutu. We would go, with those pungwes, when the guerrillas were having the pungwes, we would go there. We would go for the pungwes. So that was my contribution to the struggle. Sometimes we'll be, my parents ran a retail shop somewhere in Gutu there. So we would actually carry provisions, like buy like those military boots and clothes for the guerrillas, and we'll take them during the pungwes and we deliver the clothes and the boots to the comrades. So if that made me a member of ZANU-PF, so be it, maybe. But I believe that anyone who was a youth, a young person, a young woman, young girl, I was barely 14 then, barely 14. We would do that. And I believe I'm not the only person who did that. I mean, people of my generation and older, we all did that. So if that made me a ZANU-PF supporter, so be it.
So when did you decide to leave ZANU-PF and join MDC then, if that's the case?
Look, I'm talking of things that happened when I was a teenager. I'm talking of stuff that happened when I was barely 14 years old. And that is before independence. So Gibbs, I don't know what you're talking about now. What is your question now?
The question was, did you ever have a ZANU-PF card before you joined MDC?
Yes, I had. In 1982, when I was at university, I think there was a ZANU-PF district there. And yes, I bought a ZANU-PF card. Not only me, I think a lot of people of my generation. But those are the only parties that was there. There was ZANU-PF and there was ZAPU in the early 80s. That was 2 years into independence. And yes, I was a card carrying member of ZANU-PF when I was at university. Yeah, I think the first 2-3 years. Then look, then I was never active, and I think I just bought the card. I don't remember attending any meetings, but I just bought the card.
No, the reason why I'm asking that is because some people are saying, well, he was a ZANU-PF guy, he's still in he was in the opposition, but still a card-carrying member of ZANU-PF. That's the question. Now he has rejoined his party. That's what people are saying, Mr. Gutu.
I mean, this is people, like I said, Gibbs, who don't know me. I'm being honest with you, brutally honest and brutally frank. I've told you of the ZANU-PF card that I bought in 1982. There are so many of us of my generation who bought. Even people who are in MDC of my generation, they bought. You know, those were the two main parties there on campus. There was ZAPU and there was ZANU PF. So quite honestly, there was, I can't think of, there was no opposition party. 1982, I can't remember of any. I think Ian Smith was still in parliament. I don't know what his party was now known as, the Conservative Party or whatever. You know, that's long back.